You've been a little quiet over here. Let me get to you and ask you a question. So as far as like being proactive, and what do you suggest? What do you see that's working for the young people and for the community to help move us forward? How can we be proactive about this crime and its violence and homicides in our community and curbing it? You're still on mute. You're still on mute.
It's a kind of scary question because if you're looking at the statistics and what they're throwing at us in this war that we've been in for a long time, the United States has been at war with us since we got here, and they ain't letting up. And so when we're talking about everybody's community, because I go to a lot of communities, I can tell you names after names, but that's not important. What's important is, I heard someone say earlier, consistency. All right, always coming with consistency and working. I run the Triple CB board, which we came up with a code of conduct. Now people say, well, why you come up with a code of conduct? Because we're the only community that I know of that don't live by code. We live by culture. And that culture changes so fast that we can never get a grip on it. Chinese has code. Bexley has code. The Jews have code. The Chinese, the Japanese, the Indian, they all have codes. There's certain things you can't do in their community. Mm-hmm. You're not allowed to do it in their community. They will rise up against you and chase you out. Yeah. We're always going to somebody else's community and not realizing that as a family, we're all in the same community. It doesn't matter how you put your pants on in the morning. They are judging you by what you wear all the time, your skin. So I'm talking about the code of conduct. We're working with a couple of school board members now. Okay. We're trying to get the code in there to start that conversation, to get that conversation out there. So it says I will respect myself. Okay? It's not about me. It's about the person that's saying it. Okay? Down at the bottom, it says I will repair and restore my family. How many of us come from a broken family? How many of us didn't have parents? I was once told I had a golden spoon in my mouth, and I told that person from where I came from, and they like, well, I felt sorry for you. No, don't feel sorry for me. What's the next step to get me someplace else? So someone said something earlier about listening. Mm-hmm. Some of our young people got so much to tell us, and we cut them off. We stopped listening to them. We're always coming to them for something. Stop the violence. Stop the killing. Go to school. Pick up the paper in the neighborhood. If you listen to them, they're saying, what's in it for me? I'm 64 years old, and it's been war the whole 64 years. I have seen racism at its worst, but I've never seen it as bad as it is here in Columbus. Columbus is one of the most racist towns when it comes to Black people that I've ever been in. And so our young people are the reciprocant. We can fight for ourselves, but who's fighting for them? When they come home and tell you someone did something to them, do you dismiss it? Or do you try to figure out a solution or a resolution for it? That's why I'm pushing the code of conduct. Okay. I want to get it in the schools so you can get it in the hands of the young babies. And maybe, I know they'll take it home. And then we got religion all over the place. But religion is not a code. Religion is something someone wants you to practice. A code is something that you should bring with you and practice anyhow. Who a young man asked me, well, who said I can't defend myself? Who said I can't have a gun?
Mm-hmm.
Young person told me it's an open carry state. I can have a gun if I want to. No, legally you can't have a gun. You're under the age. But yeah, in America, we can carry a gun. And the gun's not our problem. We're our problem.
Right.
As people say, well, you're always blaming the victim. No, I'm not blaming the victim.
Mm-hmm.
If I sit here and told you where I've been, it would take too long. It's where I'm going. I'm going into my community and I'm trying to help every day. I'm not looking for a reward. I'm not waiting on downtown to give me the money. I'm not waiting on the programs that are taking money off of us. Black people, I'm going to take you back to 1970 when I know it started.
Tyrone,
Black people have been making money off.
Tyrone, wait. We can't go all the way back to 1970.
Oh, I'm coming to the date real quick.
We only got 2 minutes.
I'm coming to the date real quick.
You're just saying.
In 1970, they started all these programs.
You know, I love me some Tyrone.
You know what? If you're gonna ask me a question and not let me finish, then fine. Go right ahead.
Go ahead, keep going. But
I was giving you my answer, okay. And that was the end of my answer. I said I'm gonna go back to 1970 when they offered us all these programs and showed us how to make money off our own community. And since that time, coming right to the day, that's what we've been doing. Making money off our babies. We've been selling our kids out to this hypocritical system forever. But I can tell you for a fact that in 1970, when it all started, we were poor. We was hurting. And then we saw a way to make money off the backs of our babies. And now everybody's making money off the backs of our babies. We got a screwed up school system. Right now we're in the worst condition we ever did. We are on what? Virtual learning? And our babies don't even have computers.
Yeah.
How are they learning? Who's teaching them?
I know some kids that have that. That's like not doing it.
That ain't gonna get no money. Programs like Sean ain't gonna get no money. They just gonna get some crumbs because they don't want them babies to learn. Michelle Alexander got it right when she said, pipeline to the prisons. Yeah. And so now that our young people are coming out of the prison strong-minded and trying to build something for their babies, they're coming at us with an all-new game. We'll give you $50,000.
Let me mention, I went to
they'll spend $100,000 on the railroad. Yeah. Go ahead. That's the answer.
Okay.
That's my answer.
So I went to the Million Man March. Was it what year was that? Was it 2015? I think it was 2015. The Million Man March. I think I went. Okay.
I want to say
Which
2016.
Was it? Huh?
I feel like it was 2016. Oh no, it was 20.
It was 14, 15. It was something like that. But I went to the Million Man March, and I was looking for a charger to charge my phone up because my phone was going dead. So I ended up finding a place to charge my phone outside. And while I was charging my phone, other people was like, "Oh my God," because they was running out of juice too. So everybody was running around looking for a charger. So I found a place to charge. So I was able to charge my phone. So while I was charging my phone, there was two men, two African American, young brothers, probably in their mid-20s, and they were talking. And one guy said that he was like, man, he said, I feel like I got to put together a curriculum. Come on, help me up, Melissa, with that word. Curriculum. Okay, thank you. So he said, I feel like I had to put one of those together for my children because, the way the situation, the way, everything is going these days. I got to put that word together for my child.
Curriculum.
Thank you. So then the other brother was just like, yeah. He said, what these kids learn in school and what they learn out, outside the home should be supplement to what they're already being taught inside the home. They said and then he looked at me and said the mothers are the first teachers. I said, but I felt that, you know what I'm saying? These kids need to be learning. They're not learning the basics anymore. And I'm seeing that these kids don't know the basics. So if they're not learning the basics at home and they're not learning the basics at school, where are they learning the basics? And then also, if they're not being disciplined at home and they don't have structure at home and don't have authority at home, why are they going to have authority and listen to anybody outside of their homes? So what do we do about that? If they're not learning the things at home. And I am going to take it to Stu.
Man. Did we lose you?
Okay, there you go. So you good?
My phone's playing tricks on me. I didn't want to start hitting this home subject because it seemed like that when I post about home on Facebook that you start hitting nerves of parents who aren't taking care of home. So when you hit a home issue, Jodi, you got to remember the generations of the kids and the family who they are with. You remember when you grew up, you had some people that used to tell their moms, I'm not going to raise my kids the way that you raised me, or I'm not going to do my kids how you did me. And they ran with that, and then they tried to raise their kids with that mindset or that mentality and found out that the script flipped on them, and that's not how it was, that their kid ended up being out of control, out of character, to where they had to get out of character and no longer be, connected to their kid. And when you talk to these kids and you find out that they don't get that attention, they don't get that development at home, then you have to go through, and once kids will come to you and they ask you for answers once they trust you. So once they start trusting you, then that's when you allow yourself to start adapting to them, adjusting to how you can educate them, help develop them, help fill in them voids that they missed at home, help them catch up with their manners, if it may be manners, because some of these kids don't have manners. I mean, let's go back to square root of one. Some of them don't know how to say yes, ma'am, or yes, sir. The last time I had a conversation was, what up, bro? So you just have to go back to square one and the roots of what was missing in the home, the puzzle pieces that they skipped out on. And then once you find them things, then you find them characteristics that they missed. Then you can add the attributes on to whatever needs to be added on to them to help enhance their lives. But you have to find out what it is that they're missing. And that just goes back to my square root one, that once they trust you, you'll find out what's missing, because they'll start talking to you and then they start asking you, how can they get through things? How can they get through situations? But you have to be that person that understands that, you have to be that person that help gravitate it, and then not just gravitate it, but help change it. You have to be you have to find a way to help change it. And sometimes in situations where we all don't know the answers. We can go up and we can say, I can help you, but it's always good to have, like Malissa, it's always good to have my little brother Ralph, because we all speak different languages. You got the school system that speak, she can talk to you in the manner of that way. Ralph, he's adapted to him because he's their age. Me, I'm just the overall well-being of it, because I just feel the pain of the community, and whatever's missing, then that's the resource, or that's the puzzle piece that we want to put in place to help whatever it is that they're going through in that situation, to cure that, to help cure them.
Do we have a problem with parents being their kids' friends?
Oh, you better believe it. Especially
everybody unmuted for that one.
Oh, yeah.
We all want to jump in on that one. I'll wait.
Oh, yeah, but go ahead, Melissa. Come on, talk. Yeah, I'm good.
Melissa, go ahead. Yeah, unmute yourself, Melissa.
I was going to have Ralph talk. I want to piggyback off of Ralph.
Okay, go ahead, Ralph.
Oh, well, yeah, me and Melissa have had a conversation about
unmute.
Am I unmuted now?
You can hear him?
Yeah, I can hear him.
I can't hear him.
we Can you hear me now?
Ralph.
I can hear him clearly.
You good, Ralph?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead, Ralph.
I hope the world can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Okay. Well, we definitely have talked about this before. Jodi, can you hear me yet? I don't think she can hear me. Maybe I need to come out and come back in.
I'll have the chat. Put it in. Say, I'm looking at the chat now. Can you put in the comments if you can hear Ralph?
I can hear you good.
I can't hear Ralph.
Let me refresh. I will refresh.
Well, while he's refreshing, I'll go ahead and they can hear in the chat. Everyone else can hear.
Okay,
so
Tiffany said she can hear.
Yeah, I want to say you have two ends of the spectrum for this question, and I'm gonna answer it twofold if you don't mind.
Okay.
So you definitely have the parents who. Oh, Ralph is back. You definitely have the parents who are in desire to build relationships with their children, but they do it with all well intent, but yet they create zero boundaries, zero respect, zero expectations by becoming that. I want them to tell me everything. That's usually the platform of being their friend is I want them to be able to come and tell me everything, or just for the lack of having parenting skills themselves. You got parents who literally smoke with their children, who smoke in front of their children, who party in front of their children as if it is, they live off the mantra, do as I say, not as I do, as I said again. But if you are drinking, smoking, cussing, banging in front of your kids, you are normalizing this behavior. You cannot think that those children are not going to adopt those same behaviors from the people that they look up to the most. You are not the enemy in your child's eyes from 0 to 10 years old. Your mommy, your daddy, you are my superhero. So then when you sitting in the car and it comes down to the music you listen to, the television shows you watch, if you like, and have zero boundaries with your children, you're setting them up for failure. But then on the flip side of that coin, you got the parents who literally are being bullied by their children because they decided that they weren't going to have those boundaries, expectations, and all and everything that should take for a child to learn how to be I don't want to say a good citizen, that's so cliche, but yes, there is a large population of parents who are making the poor decision of trying to be their friend and not their parent, because it's hard to be a disciplinarian. It is hard to set boundaries. It is hard for your children to be upset with you. It is hard to go off and act. Listen, I have taken the hinges off that child's 18-year-old door. I have put a tracker on my son's phone and he knew it. It's called Teen Safe. I have told him when he has made poor decisions, listen, when it comes, grounding and old discipline is in this household, right? Because I learned from my mistakes as that young teenage parent. But listen, they are going to respect you so much more. When life hits them and you have given them that foundation of being a parental role with boundaries, you're going to thank yourself for it. I want to say this last thing. When my son was murdered on April 29, 2013, I missed the last opportunity to be a proactive parent. I was in the car with my son. He's 22 at the time. And we're driving to go to a local store to get him some sheets. And he got a phone call. And in my gut, I knew that phone call. I knew I should have intervened. I hadn't seen my son in about 2 months. And I didn't want to argue. I didn't want to be a parent and step in and say, who was that? What are you talking about? What's going on? Because we were having such a good time. I missed the mark in stepping into the parental role I knew in my gut I should have done. But because I didn't want to have an argument with my son in fear that he would leave and our good time would end, I said nothing. And guess what? My son left and the good time ended that day, and I never had another chance to be a parent to him again. I'm pleading to you. I don't know where this is coming from, excuse me. But I'm pleading to you, mothers, be a parent to your children. Step into the role of the active disciplinarian that they need as babies. Give them routines. Give them faith-filled foundations. Tell them no. Make sure they're coming home. Give them curfews. Give them everything that they need, even when they're mad at you. It's okay for them to be mad at you. Because God started, I wish my son would be mad at me one more time. I'm sorry, I don't know where that came from.
No, it's okay, baby. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. I'm gonna skip the question I was about to ask. I have another question, but I'm gonna ask that question a little bit later.
Yeah.
You know, we need to see, Malissa, we need to see, they need to see all of our emotions. We need to give them the real and see this is serious. We're losing our babies. I mean, a mother the other day just lost her 14-year-old son, was just like, I don't know. You know, she was like, I don't know. Like, she was like, he didn't know nobody out in that neighborhood. She told the parents, she gave the parents some advice in a news story, you know, just saying, know what your kids are doing. You know, keep up with your kids, know who their friends are. You know, she said, I don't know why my son was out in the neighborhood and what he was doing. And she, you know, we need to have these real conversations, and we need to have it in order for us to move forward. What next steps should we do as a community to help move us forward? You know, everybody, I know what we can do, you know, because we're already out here doing it. But what can we, there's a lot of people that want to help. They want to help. There's people that lives in the suburbs that don't deal with any of this stuff. There's people that want to get involved and want to do something, but they just don't know how to. So how can we involve them, and we can, you know, and give them next steps of what we can do to move forward? And I will ask, Tyrone, you've already kind of touched it with the code. Ralph, how about you?
That's where I wanted to go with that. Was it's the code, really. I say that to the young people, especially the connections that I'm making with the young people, the ones that these youth that are robbing, stealing, and killing are seeing. Because even though I'm only 35 years old, they look at me as old. They call me OG. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, well, man, I don't think I'm that old. I mean, I challenge them all day. I tell them, like, man, I can still run faster than you. I don't care if you're 18 or 16. I still can get up there. But yeah, it's just the code. And I challenge them all the time. Like, man, listen, I'm South Linden through and through. And you can't tell me nothing no different. You know what I mean? I walk around the streets. I don't leave after 6 o'clock. Okay, I'm out there. Okay, and I tell the young people now, the ones that's rapping, trapping, whatever, don't claim my neighborhood if you're not doing nothing to try to save it. And I will stand on that. Okay, and that means you out here walking around with a pocket of money. Give me some of that. Let's go buy some book bags for some of these kids. Let's get some school shoes. Donate some water or some food or something to one of these community events. We got to get involved ourselves.
Yes.
Being from the community, even if you don't live there. You got people that wake up there that can't move out the hood. And you got ones like me. I'm not going nowhere. I'm there. 1415 East 18th Avenue. That is my residence. That's where I'm at. And that's where my family gonna stay. And that's where, you know what I mean? That's my neighborhood. That's my passion. You can't pay me for this. I don't want no job in what I do. You cannot pay me to serve my community, and I'm very passionate about that. It's individuals that may not even be from there that do more than the people that's there. The people that's in jail right now, probably for robbing or stealing or whatever from the neighborhood. No, you poison my neighborhood. Okay, so if you going to say you want to claim it, then do something to serve it. That's what we need to do. Serve our community. Love the individual there. You got people that just moved there. They don't know nothing about the neighborhood, but they got a good deal on the house. They paying a nice mortgage or rent. Okay. Now I need y'all to understand how passionate and prideful that this community it is. Linden is a real big community. Okay, and we have stricken with gun violence like crazy. When I was growing up, we had winos, we had drunks, and we had the crack, and saying had drugs hit our streets. But nothing like this violence is hitting our streets because we had a code. We not fighting with each other in our own neighborhoods. Now you may have rival people or gangs or something maybe come in and y'all doing whatever, but it's never nobody around the corner from you. Y'all go to elementary school together.
Can I ask you this?
So, yeah.
You know that we, all around the world, like it's international, it's national. Everyone is screaming Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
And most of all the homicides are Black lives, and its suspects are Black. The victims are Black. Black Lives Matter is being screamed and marched and protest all around the world. Why hasn't it reached our neighborhoods? Like, why don't our babies? Why if Black Lives Matter? Why is our babies out here killing each other?
That question has always been that's two parallels. This was on the backs of police brutality and killing our people. That's where this came from. Okay, what we facing right now is people trying to survive, clout chase, hold up a standard that I gotta be the tough guy or I gotta be the rough and toughest gangster or whatever the case may be because I didn't have that father figure or mother figure. My mom was on drugs. My daddy was in jail. That's what we facing right now.
Okay,
these kids are not being taught that. It's starting in the house. Okay, I was raised by an older woman. Okay, I was taught these certain things, and respect was the biggest forefront of that. My mom couldn't chase me out the house. She couldn't chase me. If I went out the house, she couldn't chase me. But it was the fact of knowing that when I got in trouble, who I'm going to call first. And she was the first person that told me, you get in trouble, you're going to be down there. And guess what? That 5 hours, that day in DH did enough for me. I never seen the inside of that until I came back and worked for the DH in which I was in when I was younger. That was enough for me. Okay, but that's not everybody's story. That's not everybody's testimony. Because every day is a blessing. And every year that I live is a true testimony. And I'm going to make sure these young people know and feel it. Because it's coming from the heart. So how you get involved? You donate. Share the information. Connect the individuals. You may know somebody that needs this. Connect them to us. Sean was just on here. You got Stu on here. You got Miss Malissa on here. You got Tyrone here. Connect them to us. Help push our mission because we are serving in different capacities. But at the end of the point is to serve. We are serving our community in which we love. And it's all over. Because my thing is, if it can work in Linden, being one of the biggest communities in Columbus, it can work anywhere in Ohio and then some. Okay. It can work anywhere. But get involved. That's the main thing. That's all I got to say. Get involved, and there it is.
Okay.